Okay, so start. Let's start. Let me just adjust this camera real quick. And yeah, I think that's good. That's probably good. So, this is my second time, like, recording. Because earlier in the morning when I tried to record, my mic wasn't working. So yeah. So, let me tell you about this book that I've read for my book report, which is titled Science of Survival. The book focuses on two girls who are Jewish. They're Jewish, and they lived around World War II. Because the topic of this story is about World War II and like the Germans, basically. So yeah, two girls, right? I really don't have a script. I'm just remembering what I should do. I have no script at all. I'm just storytelling as I go. So now, let's get back to the main point of this video, which is about, oh yeah. So the story is about two girls named Reni and Herta. And one of them is deaf, meaning they cannot hear anything of the outside world, which is Herta. Herta is a deaf girl who lives in Bratislava, Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia is a country, and Bratislava is the city in the country. Type, yeah. And so they were living with their parents, right? And since it was just right next to the German to the Germans, their country, they were at very large risk because there was an ongoing war. The ongoing war meant that they had to do some very aggressive actions against other countries, other nations. In this case, Reni and Herta's home country, Czechoslovakia, they were against war. And so one day, the Germans had come. They were invading their country now. And so they got sent to a concentration camp. Their parents, they got caught by the Germans and held captured. And they were sent to like a camp, a concentration camp, which is basically they keep innocent civilians prison or even soldiers prisoner there, so that there would be less morale in their home country and stuff. The Germans, they captured their parents. They didn't know what to do. And since Herta was deaf, she couldn't really live by herself. So Rennie had to help her. Oh, also their entire family was actually deaf, except Rennie. Rennie was the only one who could hear. So Rennie basically acted as the ears of their entire family and told them if anyone was like coming to invade and stuff. Oh god, it slid. Damn, that's pretty fun. I had no idea the brakes were this strong. Cause like I just got this a week ago. And before that I was just on like a scooter. Since their parents were captured, this meant that eventually Rennie and her sister would also be captured by the Germans. And yeah. Now they were ultimately captured and were being sent to the camp by train. So now they were on the train, captured by Germans. And unexpectedly, the the other enemy soldiers attacked the train that Rennie and her sister was on. And now they couldn't get to where they were gonna go, which was the Bersen Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. Wait, no, I mean the Auschwitz concentration camp. And this supposedly their parents were located at the Auschwitz concentration camp. But now their their train that was on their way to that camp was destroyed by the Allied soldiers, the British, the Americans and stuff. Just, yeah, destroyed. So they had no choice but to switch to a different train to get to their destination. But this train wasn't going to Auschwitz. They were going to a camp called Bergen-Belsen. And yeah, which means they will be separated from their parents. The camp they will be going to won't be with their parents at all. So they arrived at the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp, and that was it had very harsh and extreme conditions. They were being very mistreated. Their rations, their portions of food were not a lot. They got like one slice of bread every day, like a drink, like water, I think. That was for the entire day. One piece of bread. Yeah. The camp was also very dirty. So very unsanitary. And eventually, Herta, I think, Herta got a sickness. Herta got a sickness. Alright. There was some dude looking at me. Oh my god, that was kind of awkward. Dead eye. Dead to the eye. So again, Herta got sick now. Oh god. I should probably stop locking the rear tire. But it's fun. There's just something about the brakes. So my earphones, my AirPods, which I'm using for my mic, keep like glitching out every time it hears a high pitched noise. Yeah. So Herta got sick. What else should I talk about? Aside from the fact that Herta got sick. Oh yeah, Herta got sick. And so they were gonna go to the German doctors. The doctors that look down. They're all German. Yeah. And one prisoner said that that the doctors were not trustworthy. It should be pretty obvious since they're literally getting held capture by some enemies right now who have committed very serious war crimes and are holding innocent civilians. I'll probably like stop there and like just sit down and talk.
So now, yeah, they were told not to go to the doctors since obviously they're not really the best and not trustworthy. Okay. Now the doctor, yeah. So Herta couldn't survive much longer since he was horribly sick.
But they couldn't do anything about it. So they just stayed and hoped that some miracle would happen. Because if they went to the doctor, Herta would probably get experimented by. But if they didn't went to the doctor, she'd still die of a disease anyway. So it's a lose-lose. There's no way out. But then they heard a loud bang, bang, or something. Yeah, sorry for that. There's a loud bang. It was the British. They'd come to liberate the place. Which means it finally got some hope of being free. They were finally free. The British had come to their aid. And yeah, they got free. Now they went to be free now. And so they tried to find their parents. But while they were looking for their parents, the government trying to help just asked them if they want to go to Sweden, where there was like a safe home for the children of war, where they could be safe and be fed properly while they didn't have anyone to guard them. So they agreed. They went to Sweden to their like camp or something, and they were and 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 Rennie and her sister told the people there to like go look for their parents. And so yeah, the people there were looking for their parents if they somehow managed to find them, if they were still alive. But for the next few months they were staying there, and one day they got some news. Their parents are dead. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. Their parents are dead. Yeah, so that was not very good news. It was bad news. The worst news even. And so yeah, they're basically alone now. Their parents are dead, so they had nothing to do. But they got word that they had some relatives who were living in New York City, in the United States. They didn't know of these relatives because before they were even born, they decided to move out of their hometown, their country. So yeah, they decided to move to where they were in New York and just find peace there. And so they went there on plane. It was actually their first time being on a plane. So obviously they would be very nervous. Oh damn, that sounds pretty strong brakes. Yeah, I'm just testing out the brakes, braking in the brakes, because this is brand new. I got this on January 15, 2026 on Thursday, just last week. And yeah, it's been pretty fun actually. This might be like, this has been very worth it. A sniper 155r. It's in matte black. And yeah. Oh my god, we're about to hit 100 kilometers. No way. On the trip meter. This is quite, like, achievement. My first motorcycle is reaching 100 kilometers. Yeah, now that we're at New York City, they would be there for like the rest of their lives, basically. They had met their uncle, their aunt, their cousins and stuff there, and they took care of Rennie and her very, very well. They were like their new parents now. They didn't treat them differently. They all acted like one big happy family, and were a happy family. Was, is, and yeah. So now they're probably in like their 70s now, and Rennie, the older sister, wanted to go back to their homeland just to visit. So yeah, they were gonna visit their homeland now, and they saw that it had looked nothing like it did before. The buildings were nice. There was no trace of any of the massacres that were happening there. All the killing, all the pain, the suffering, the agony, the yuppies networking, despair, agony, and all that. There was no trace of any of those war crimes back in World War II. Like nothing had ever happened. And yeah, that's basically where the story ends. And I'm probably gonna go home now. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically the end of the story. They went back to their homeland just to check things out. And yeah, there was nothing happening. No war crimes. Very relaxing country now. And the country is separated. Before it was Czechoslovakia, which was Czechia, the Czech Republic, which is now a Czech Republic and Slovakia. Okay, yeah, that's where the story ends. At the end of the book, where they both die of peacefully of old age in like 2015, I think. I don't know. It was in the 2010s probably that they died. Kinda. Probably like 2019 now, to be honest. And yeah, that's basically all. Once again, this has been Sign of Survival by Rennie Hartman. Yeah, the same Rennie Hartman who was in all of those stories. She wrote this book. And yeah, I'm here just to like tell what happened, like a short summary of the book. There was obviously more, but I can't fit all of that, especially because I speak like really slowly and I get distracted way too often. But yeah, I'm gonna go home now. The vlog ends here. Let's go home. Oh, we're about to hit 100. You can see that. 99.9. Oh my god, bro. We're almost at 100. Like, no joke. 99. 100, let's go. Oh my god. Wait, let me just park right here.